The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
With the Taliban in control of Afghanistan, the country has faced high inflation, a nationwide currency shortage, shut down borders, and women's rights stripped away. Can Bitcoin help? Among the popular arguments for wider adoption of Bitcoin has been banking the unbanked. Joining us now to discuss is Wendy Diamond, CEO and founder of Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization. Hello there, Wendy. All right, Wendy, so we've been tracking the events in Afghanistan. Obviously, we've seen as a nation the country succumb to rule of the Taliban again. They're facing nationwide currency shortages. Borders are closed down. Inflation is creeping up, and women have seen their rights taken away from them. And at least in the crypto community, Bitcoin is seen as something that can bank the unbanked and help vulnerable people like people in Afghanistan. So from your perspective, I understand that you are in touch with women in Afghanistan and trying to send them Bitcoin. What is the state of women in Afghanistan and your efforts to help them out?
Correct. So our foundation has been in Afghanistan since 2014, right? So we really have an understanding of what's going on. One of our partners there created the Women's Chamber of Commerce, which is based in Kabul. So, when this was all going down and so forth, we were like, wow, how can we help? And so, my background in this space, since as well as in 2014, I got into the crypto space, especially a supporter of Bitcoin. I realized, wow, we could really, work with our group there, because not everybody's getting out of, Afghanistan. They still have to live there. And so what we've seen is the women have been, as we know, been hardest hit. So what we did is we created an initiative where we partnered with Open Grants, which is, using blockchain as well as artificial intelligence to disrupt the trillions of dollars of non-diluted funding. And what they've done is they partnered with Stellar Coin. And so what we're doing is we are funding 100,000 women in Afghanistan with crypto to enable them a week's worth of food, to create that ecosystem amongst themselves so they don't need to rely on the banks that they have to wait for 10 hours in line to get a little bit of money. And, in regards to the government with this transition, I think it's very important that they find other means of being able to transact amongst themselves. So I think this is a perfect place to actually test this out. And so what our goal is we're going to be launching on Women's Entrepreneurship Day on November 19th, which is an official day in the world, recognized in 144 countries and with U.S. Congress. And we will be celebrating with Kathy Wood of ARK Invest. And we partnered with Ninja Hideout, which is an NFT program, where we're going to be launching this program. And we've already raised $100,000 to support this in Afghanistan.
Oh, you're on mute, Emily.
Sorry. It's a very cool project. Just a few questions. So you say it's for 100,000 women, and the idea is that they can pay for groceries with crypto. So is the idea that they just pay directly with crypto? They never have to exchange it into fiat currency?
They might have, it depends, right? But where we're starting off, and with our partnership with the Women's Chamber of Commerce of, Afghanistan, we have outlets for them to be able to transact, right? And what we did is we've done this on a grassroots level, right? So we found these amazing, people that have, these women that have small groups, whether it's 250 women, the Women Afghan Fighters Group. And that's been our first testing, and they've already signed up over 280 women to start this off this week. So we're testing it right now, and then we'll fully have an understanding by Friday of, how this is working within the community.
Do you think 100,000 women, it will actually be able to reach that number? Because it seems like there will be some barriers just in terms of tech literacy, possibly other challenges along the way. I mean, do you think that actually is a realistic number of people who will actually be using this?
100%. I mean, there's 40 million people in Afghanistan, right? 20 million of them have mobile phones. we're guesstimating about 5 million of those have, are women, right? And so, whether it's a flip phone or a mobile phone, they will be able to upload, and download the wallet. And then what they're going to be able to do is be able to, and it's all KYC, et cetera. And Finclusive is our partner with the KYC, be able to then interact amongst the community and be able to transact. And so we see there's just amount of people because we've literally already partnered with 40 groups in Afghanistan. And that equates to like 50,000 people, 50,000 women. Sorry.
Okay, so it's not $100,000 worth, but 100,000 people. Are you working with, for instance, the Stellar Foundation?
Of course.
To provide,
Andrea Lowe. You said you're.
So
Andrea Lowe, who oversees, the $3 billion that they have to, invest as well in with their community and their protocol. She is one of the advisors on this project as well. And she will be speaking on Friday at Women's Entrepreneurship Day on our virtual summit on Friday.
How sensitive is this situation, Wendy? Because, we're seeing a lot of women being, under duress, repression in this new regime change. So it must be quite sensitive dealing with these women, and they must be under a lot of pressure to keep it on the down low, to keep things quiet.
To be honest with you, we work with such incredible people. It's incredible. How it all kind of started was I read this article in the New York Post, and it was about this woman, where she created this march to enable all her friends to go to school, right? It was all these girls. And literally the Taliban were shooting up. And I found this girl on social media, and literally she has been such a bright light. And it's literally yes, we can do it. And she barely speaks English, but her assistant does. And so she has just been, rallying all the people that she can in a lot of the groups. So her alone has brought us 20 groups. So I feel it's what can you do? You can only be positive and proactive and find ways. And it's not that, what we're hoping with this is that this enables them to be able to interact with each other and be able to give, enable them to have food. You know what I mean? Because right now there's a lot of issues with them even having enough money to get food because, they have to wait 10 hours to go to the bank. They can only get a certain amount of money. So by enabling this and then getting them used to using cryptocurrency, that's another thing, right? Because, we've made it really simple and gave them easy instructions on how to download the wallet, how to use everything. So it's very easy for them. And it's all in Farsi as well. So it's in their language.
Awesome. You also have the the Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization UN Summit going on. Tell us a bit about what's happening.
So we have, every year, November 19th. So if you're a woman, woo, you should celebrate this day. It's to celebrate, support, and empower women in business to alleviate poverty. And it happened because I ended up in Honduras on vacation, not realizing it was the murder capital of the world in 2013. And I just realized the importance of microloans for women, right? And why was Bitcoin, I always, go back to why was Bitcoin created? And I really believe it was created to help the 2.5 billion people unbanked, right, to have financial access. And it's similar to what, our foundation was founded upon is, when we realize when women receive these microloans, 98% of them are paying these microloans back. 90% of it goes to educate their children, provide for their families. When women, are empowered in business, they have self-confidence and dignity. They don't allow human rights violations. So this was what, our foundation was based upon. And so by creating an officially proclaimed day in 2014 by, at the time, Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio in U.S. Congress, we went around the world. And so now we're represented in 144 countries. And the whole goal of this, think TED, like TED Talks, but instead WED, and bringing governments, business leaders, civil society together to collaborate to find solutions to uplift women in business. So we've got an amazing day set up for November 19th. And wherever you are in the world, there's somebody also creating a summit.